will always come at a cost.
So I'm sure all of you guys want to know, is Venom a turd in the wind, or is it the next best comic book movie ever? Well, we're about to find out. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in to my opinion/review for Venom. I really do appreciate it. Now, I'm going to be honest. Going into this movie, I thought the film was going to suck balls for the most part. You know, ever since they announced this, I really wasn't feeling the first trailer. You know, news was coming out that Spider-Man is not going to be in the movie. And I'm like, what the hell? How can you have a Venom movie without Spider-Man? It just does not make any sense. But I'm going to be honest with you. Sony kind of did their thing, and they kind of came up with the creative way to make a Venom film without Spider-Man. And, you know, I'll go ahead and say now that I accept that and I like it. Now, I know Venom from the main universe in Marvel Comics, the 616. This is how I learned about Venom right here. Great animation back in the 90s. And the film is not based off this. It is still loosely based off the comics, but it is based off the Lethal Protector storyline, which honestly I am not that familiar with. But apparently there is a planet of symbiotes that want to invade Earth and take over, you know, the human race. And this is kind of loosely based off that. Now, the film is directed by Ruben Fleischer. If you know his work, he did Zombieland. He's going to do Zombieland 2. He also did Gangster Squad and also 30 Minutes or Less, which is a pretty funny movie. And, you know, like what this movie is about is, you know, when Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy, you know, he comes in contact with this symbiote, you know, his alter ego comes out and, you know, he has to, you know, save lives and protect this girl, and a bunch of chaos ensues. Now, I will go ahead and get the positive things out the way that I liked about this movie, and then we're going to go ahead and go to the negative. Now, one of the positive things about this movie, the best thing about the movie is Tom Hardy. He's great in this movie. Him as Eddie Brock and him going back and forth with Venom, I really did enjoy that. If you did not already know that Tom Hardy is voicing the character of Venom, I remember when I first saw the trailer, I thought that it was, I forgot his name, the guy that does the Candyman. I think when I reacted to it, I said that, but no, I found out that, you know, it is Tom Hardy. You know, and he is one of my favorite actors. My three most favorite performances of his is Bane, the role he played in The Revenant. He was a cold dude in that one. And also Warrior, which came out in 2011. I love this movie right here. I love it so much that I still have the price tag on this Blu-ray right here. I actually, I'm knocking over the mic and stuff, excuse me. I actually cried in the theater with this movie right here. So Tom Hardy is dope, but him going back and forth with, you know, with him and Venom, that was freaking fantastic. You know, there was a lot of laughs, a lot of jokes. They even said that when Tom Hardy was, you know, not filming, but recording the voice of Venom, they did that in pre-production so that when they started filming the second stage in a film making process, he had an earpiece, so he was kind of hearing himself, and that kind of just like, you know, helped him in the role right there. So the relationship between Eddie Brock and Venom, that was pretty good. That was fantastic. That was actually the best part of the movie for me. Next thing I liked about the movie was the action scenes. Now, I remember just a number of weeks ago before the film's released, the studio released an action clip of Venom taking down like a bunch of henchmen with assault rifles and guns, and, you know, look like a SWAT team or something like that. I did not want to see the clip, but like my coworkers and everybody was just talking about how great it was. And when I actually saw it in the film, I was actually impressed. You know, they did a good job of framing the scene and just kind of setting the stage and kind of showing Venom and how powerful he is and all of the abilities and maneuvers that he can do with the symbiote, whether, you know, he was actually in the actual Venom costume or the CGI costume or however you want to say it, or, you know, just when Eddie Brock is in his human form and his phalanges and things like that are flying around and the symbiote is coming out and whipping bad guys and things like that. That part is cool, and I like that, and I like the CGI. The CGI is the next thing that I want to talk about, and it was decent for the most part. You know the scene where I'm talking about, where he is in the apartment and flinging guys around. You know, did a great job there. Also, like, while that action was good, it was also kind of funny too. And I've always said that one of the most difficult things for me, or in my opinion, that I think to pull off in the film is to kind of have funny moments mixed in with serious moments where, you know, you're supposed to be intense. It's a thrill. You're at the edge of your seat. You know, they did a great job there. So, but mind you, I did say that CGI is decent at best, but, you know, I don't want to. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Something else that I did like about the film is Michelle Williams. She's in this film as well. She is the girlfriend of Tom Hardy, of Eddie Brock. And immediately when I saw her on screen and them together, I sensed the chemistry between them immediately. I was just saying to myself, okay, wow, they make a good couple. You know, they are really in love. I'm believing their relationship. You know, seemed like at points and times she was into him more than he was into her or whatever. Now, it did kind of seem like, you know, these two wouldn't match, you know, given their professional careers and things like that, with Eddie Brock being an investigative reporter. But at the same time, you know, sometimes opposites do attract, and that is the case, in my opinion, in this movie right here. And so another thing that I liked about this movie is the portrayal, the villain, Riz Ahmed, in this film. You know, if you know him, he was in Star Wars Rogue One that came out a few years ago, Nightcrawler, and also Jason Bourne. I don't remember him in that movie because it's been so long since I've seen it, but at the same time, you know, he did a good job. It was just a kind of a different type of villain. He wasn't like this, you know, that stereotype. I mean, he's a multi-billionaire rich guy, just wants more and more and more and more and more, and he's just like real cold, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care about anything other than himself and his company, or he doesn't care who he craps on. All he wants to do is make breakthroughs and make more money, and if you're in his way, you know, you're most likely gonna die. And while he is a bad guy, he was a good bad guy in the sense that, okay, wow, you know, this is just somebody that you just don't want to cross, because, you know, he may go after you, he may go after your family. And so, you know, I liked him, you know, in this role. I think he did a pretty good job. But so now let's get to the bad. And while I've said all those positive things, you know, you guys are probably thinking the movie's gonna suck. No, I did not hate the movie. I mean, I enjoyed it for the most part. I mean, there are some things that I did not like, and we're gonna talk about that right now. Now, I just gave praise to the relationship between Tom Hardy and Michelle Williams, but one thing that I did not like about the relationship or with her character is it was kind of a flimsy relationship. While they seemed like they was in love, Michelle Williams, and I forgot her name in the movie, it seemed like she abandoned the relationship, you know, off of nothing. I mean, if you're in love with somebody and y'all are married, y'all engaged or something like that, you know, I don't want to spoil the movie for you here. Of course, I'm trying to talk non-spoilers, but while they had great chemistry, the relationship was flimsy. I'm like, okay, at one point in time, I was like, okay, I mean, do you love this guy? Do you like this guy? Do you want to be with him? Do you not want to be with him? I mean, like, why are you so easily convinced to come and go? You're like, you know, where are your roots? You know, like, you're supposed to be a down ass chick, you know, for your dude. And while y'all do look good together, I mean, at the first sign of trouble or whatever, you hitting the door like, oh, I'm going to move on to the next guy. And that's just something that I just was not a fan of. Now, I talked about the action, and it was pretty good in the first 2 acts, but in the third act, the final showdown, it did get kind of sloppy, and it was kind of all over the place. What they did with the camera is they zoomed in on Venom and the Riot character that consumed the Riz Ahmed villain character. The camera was just too zoomed in for me. I mean, I have bad eyes. Maybe y'all can see it a lot better than I can, but it was kind of like, you know, I just did not understand understand what was going on, or I could not see what was going on. And you know, you have that classic, well, not classic, but that scene in the trailer where they slow it down and it's slow-mo and the camera is going like this, and both of the symbiotes, I messed up the term. You know, they're ripping each other apart, and you can see the bodies and things like that coming out or whatever, and it's all slow-mo. Even with them slowing it down, I still was not able to tell what was going on. I'm kind of looking like this and like, okay, who is where? Like, where does Venom begin and where does Riot end? And, you know, vice versa. Where is Tom Hardy's head? Where is his head? I just really could not, I just really couldn't pick out and understand what was going on. And that was just kind of like a little frustrating to me. Something else that I really just did not like is the consistency with the CGI. While sometimes it was decent, sometimes the way it would consume other people was like that was like, did y'all run out of money? Like, why did it just look so bad? Like, I remember back in Spider-Man 3 in 2007 where Topher Grace was playing the Venom character. I liked how the Venom thing was, you know, going all on his body, but with this in this film right here, sometimes the symbiote would do that, and sometimes it would just kind of like morph into the person, and it just looked whack to me. I'm just like, that doesn't look good at all. Like, I remember while I was in the theater, I was going like this, like with my face like, what? No, I don't like that at all. And also, there just wasn't that much consistency, like I said, on how it consumes people, because what the symbiote is doing is it jumps around looking for the perfect host or whatever. I mean, you know, like, you know, we all have different blood types. You know, if you need a blood transfusion or whatever, you can't just go and pick somebody's blood. It has to be a match. If you need a heart transplant, you can't just take somebody's heart. You know, you can't be like, you know, the size of Shaq, but then want to take the heart of a 7-year-old girl and think it's going to match. No. So I like that. And so when the symbiote sometimes will find a host that it did not like, sometimes it would kill the person, but sometimes it wouldn't do that. And I'm just like, okay, you know, where's the consistency? And there was just like, one of my another main gripe is, you know, while there were some things that I really did like in this movie, some of the things, just the consistency was just not on par all over the film. Like, I mean, you have this Life Foundation where it's supposed to be like the top secret building and with all the secrets of the world and space travel and things like that. Sometimes the security would be like it's Fort Knox. Sometimes it seems like you can just go in and kick the door down and you go in there and do whatever you want to do. And I'm just like, okay, you know, like, what's that about? I mean, I just don't understand. Something else that just really bugged me in this film was the reaction to, like, when people are in the streets and you see a 6-foot, 7-foot slimy monster with tentacles going everywhere and big teeth and tongues or whatever, you know, like, I don't know. I would be freaking out if I saw that, like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? Like, what the F? Like, what am I dreaming? Like, you know, no, send me to heaven now, God, please. I don't want to live no more. I'm seeing crazy stuff. Like, I just wasn't buying the way people was reacting to Venom in the film. And you saw the trailer where the lady is in the store or whatever, and Venom bites the dude's head off.
Your arms and then both of your legs, and then we will eat your face right off your head. You will be this armless, legless, faceless thing, won't you? Rolling down the street like a turd in the wind.
What the hell are you?
We are Venom.
Oh, I have a parasite. Yeah. Name is Chen.
Okay, so you see her reaction. I just don't think a normal person will react that way. A more realistic reaction to me is something like this.
What the hell are you?
We are Venom.
I mean, seriously, that's how I would be. No shame in my game over here. You know, I'm going to be running the F out the door or whatever. So, you know, that right there just kind of bugged me and like rubbed me the wrong way. And, you know, my last gripe is like, okay, we have the villain Riz Ahmed, you know, in the film. You know, his role is Carlton Drake. I kind of wish I would have got a little bit more, you know, backstory on his motivation and just I just wish we would have got like more backstory on, you know, what his motivation is and why he is so obsessed with achieving these goals. I mean, like, you know, like, what do you really want? Like, did something happen to you that put you on this path? Like, you know, the film just kind of brushed over that. And while the film is enjoyable and it's not bad, I mean, I don't want to just say the film is just amazing as well. Something I never do is watch other reviews before I do mine, because you don't want to accidentally or unconsciously mimic what they're saying. But I did that, and some of the complaints they made in those reviews just didn't make sense to me, saying how Michelle Williams' portrayal or her character was wasted, how this feels like a 90s comic book action movie. Why, you know, people like, you know, the Sony hasn't figured out, or, you know, they didn't want to do what the new age superhero movies are doing, comic book movies are doing. I just disagree with that entirely. Why does Sony have to mimic everything else? Yeah, they can take notes and things like that, but that just wasn't a gripe for me. So I went into this film with low expectations, guys, and was, you know, actually entertained by it. I'm not going to just recommend this movie and say that, man, you need to go see this Venom movie, it was great, but I'm not just going to sit here and say that it was garbage trash. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's just how I feel. And so I want to now give a shout out to somebody, one of my subscribers. I want to give a shout out to Mr. James A. Womack Jr. What's up, bro? You know, hey, you know, you thought the movie was trash. I thought it was pretty decent. You know, he was telling me like, man, if you don't review that movie like acrimony, I'm unsubscribing. I hope you don't unsubscribe, sir. You know, I do enjoy you as a fan. So guys, if I had to rate Venom out of a 1 out of 10, I'm going to give Venom a 6.5 out of 10. Yes, a 6.5 out of 10. The lowest grade that I will give a film that is passing is a 6 out of 10. So if anything below a 6 out of 10, that's a failure to me. So I think I'm going to go ahead and give this movie a 6.5, because it just wasn't that bad to me. I mean, I enjoyed it. It had some problems, but, you know, I was still thoroughly entertained. But guys, I said all that, but in the end, that is just my opinion, okay? What did you think? Have you seen Venom, or do you want to see it? Have I turned you on? Have I turned you off? Do you agree with me, or do you disagree with me? Let me know down in the comment section below. Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. If you like this video, go ahead and give me the thumbs up. If you don't, that's fine, but you can still subscribe to my channel. Yeah, please help me subscribe, guys. Please help me reach my milestone, my goal of 10,000 subscribers. I'm trying to hit 10,000 by 12/31/2018 by the end of the year. I want to go into 2019 with 10,000 subscribers. You can also look me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All that good stuff is right there at the bottom of your screen, and I made it very easy by providing a link to all that good stuff down in the description box below. But guys, I just want to thank you again for tuning in to my opinion/review for Venom. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.